got half a water. I think I should have
Yes.
lassi.
Oh, for some reason, I thought it was a Pepsi at first. I know, that's why I was confused.
This is my water bottle that you seen for you.
For a split second, I thought I saw the Pepsi logo. That's why I was like, that's not water.
Welcome back, BBB Army. Welcome back to our channel, BBB Army Hearts to Hearts. I'm Ruth.
And I'm Nicole.
How are you guys doing this awesome, lovely week today? Also, we're filming this at the end of February because next thing we know, it's going to be March.
Yes, so technically, as this is out, we are in March.
March.
Hello. So
Crazy.
we technically should be springing forward
Ugh.
soon.
What's the point of daylight savings? Like, I always hear, like, oh, we're going to stop it. No, we're going to continue for another year. And then it just keep going, go back, forth.
Arizona has it right. Like, they do.
Well, guys, we are finally here and stuff. But before we dive into today's episode, we hope that each and every one of you saw the awesome newsletter that you got to pre-order, the new DVD, not DVD, well, yes, including DVD,
Yeah.
CD of the awesome Black Door Brides #7.
I know I pre-ordered my physical copy.
I pre-ordered mine, although Nicole was telling me before we hit record, she was having issues with it on her phone. I did it on my phone with no issues, but I also saw in the army other people were having issues too. So hopefully everyone got their order in.
I know for people, like, it's one of those things. The phones were having issues. The computers were too, but the computer issue was just it would take forever to load. So hopefully everyone that couldn't do it off their phone was able to get access to a computer.
I have no idea. I had no issues, surprisingly. I just saw it. I'm like, okay, clicked it and took me there, pre-ordered it, and no issues. Maybe I got lucky. I have no idea.
Oh, you got lucky because it was frustrating on my end. I was like, this would happen. Anything I have to pre-order for Blackwell Brides, this would happen.
Well, Nicole, you kind of just jinx yourself. I mean, we can talk about that another time, but
A whole episode of how
a
Nicole
whole
jinxes
episode
herself.
of
Coming soon.
Nicole's like issues with BVB merch and everything from the websites.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, guys, let us get into the what's it called, nitty gritty of this topic of this episode. So, I don't even know how to start this, but hey, guys, we're here. We're gonna be petty. We are going to be very petty in this episode, guys. I mean, petty. Okay, we are not holding back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna talk about Bruno. No, no. We're gonna talk about Bruno.
About time.
Ugh.
It's been a minute. It's one of those things. We also just want to bring awareness to fans who maybe have not heard about this because there have been quite a few new fans in the army that hear about him but don't know what went on. And then yeah.
I'm just gonna only say this one time. If you are new to the army and you're also new to this podcast slash show, we addressed, this is the only one time I'm gonna say his freaking name, Ashley Purdy as Bruno. We are gonna address him as Bruno because of the song. It was actually our dear friend Ian who came on the show and actually made that into a thing. So thank you, Ian, and stuff. But we are going to be talking about Bruno and our thoughts and opinions about him. And honestly, I guess you could say all the allegations and stuff and everything. So we're going to talk about it. And yes, we're going to be petty if I have not mentioned that.
The pettiest. I know. We're just gonna be flat out honest. Like, that's no holds barred in here.
I guess we can just start off with our first impressions of Bruno. Who would like to go first?
I mean, I don't mind going first. I feel like first impressions right off the bat, I was just excited to have found a band that just like spoke to me and some like a band that I could actually love and listen to. So at the time, I didn't think much of it. When I had very first time meeting him, it was just nerve-wracking to me. I think at that point I hadn't really met a lot of, I guess you would say, famous people or whatever. So he was nice to me at first. I say at first. There was never like a mean moment, but I mean, throughout the progress of watching Black Veil Brides, I noticed just things got weirder. I noticed he became a weirder person, and I started to realize just how, like, what's the better term I'm trying to say here? I don't know. He just got freaking weird. The moment he brought out the porn guitar, that's when I was just like,
we're gonna talk about that.
okay.
Thank you for bringing it. We're definitely gonna
That's
talk
where
about
things
that.
got weird for me, though. And
Cool.
then For me personally, and I was just speaking to my husband about this too. I think one of the other moments when I think back at the time, of course, I thought nothing of it because, I was only 17 years old and you get really excited when you're like, hey, your favorite band is acknowledging you. At the time, I didn't realize it, but now looking back, so for anyone that doesn't know, hello, hi, I do modeling. And when I was 17, I was doing a lot of like lingerie modeling work for photographers. And lo and behold, because in a lot of them I would wear like Black Veil Bride stuff like necklaces or the BVB Army armband. Bruno ended up messaging me on Twitter responding to my lingerie photos with like a winky face and all that. It's a good thing though that Twitter did not allow you to message people back who weren't following you. So I
Ooh.
think it's honestly like I'm like, oh my God, that's a blessing that I couldn't write him back because at that time, you're not thinking anything of it. But when I think of it now, like yeah, it gave like vibes for sure.
Creepy
For
vibes.
sure. hmm I wish I would have seen it sooner, to be honest.
I mean, you were just a kid, honestly, back then. So,
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
know, and it's crazy. It's crazy to look back, but I want to know your first impressions.
my first impressions. So, obviously, I discovered them through Facebook when my ex posted the Knives and Pen music video. Obviously, he wasn't in the Knives or Pens and music video.
Mhm.
I think I really saw him when they released their Perfect Weapon video. I didn't really think much about him, although, I said we're going to be petty, so we're going to be petty here. When I first saw him, like through photos and stuff, not in person, through photos, I'm like, he's ugly. I never found any, like, I never understood why, like, no hate. I was like, the attraction there, I never understood it. I'm like, what? I don't know. I just found him odd looking, honestly. Like, obviously not my type, but I'm just like, I never understood the attraction there. I never really did found the attraction there. And maybe that's just me, but I'm just like literally, that freaking game we did in like middle school and high school, Mary Kill.
Oh my God. I mean, I can't lie. I did the MASH game, but I did hear about that game.
Yeah, well, we did Mary and Kill a lot in my high school, and my friends obviously knew I was a BVB fan, and so they always asked me Mary or Kill, and I'm like, well, Kill Bruno. The Kill Bruno was obviously every single time, so I can tell you that and stuff. Honestly, okay, I first saw him in the Pens and Needles tour. I was like 15 years old, so I was still a kid. That was like my first rock concert ever. Obviously, I was screaming my head off. He was just doing his, like, I guess you could say now looking back, a rocker deal and stuff. Like, oh, thank you for throwing your panties and bras at us and stuff and so forth. I mean, like, I'm sure back then he was performing, but I again didn't think much about it and stuff until I went to my first Warp Tour in 2013, where, as you mentioned, the in Qatar, I saw it. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what the are you doing with that thing? Like, that is disgusting in my head. Like, I didn't want to even, I was just like so creeped out. I was just like, no. And then ever since then, I just always got a bad feeling about him. I just got like a off, weird, bad feeling about him. I didn't know what it was. Obviously, I was just a kid, but I just had that feeling. You know how sometimes you just meet people and you just get a feeling of them? Yeah, that was just me with him. Like, I always got a bad feeling of Bruno from the start. Like, again, I know I was young, but I'm just like, well, I was young, but I was also going through some certain things, trauma in my life. Now looking back at it, like, that's why I got the off feeling and bad feeling because of him, because of certain things allegedly that he has done.
Yeah, I'll admit I was a fan of every single member in the band. Obviously, still am, minus Bruno. But back at that time, before kind of noticing all the weirdness, I was a fan of everyone. But then it's like when the guitar came in, and then just over time, little things noticing, it became one of those things where I was almost scared to say that I didn't like one of the members in the band because I thought I would be like attacked by every person. So I was just like, I think as long as I like, w wish him a happy birthday and like don't say anything negative, I was like, maybe it will be okay. And that's kind of how I portrayed a lot of it until all the allegations came
Yeah,
out.
honestly, I didn't do much about him. Like, even on his birth, I may have wished him a happy birthday on social media, but didn't really give two about it and stuff. I was just doing
Yeah.
it just to be nice because he was part of the band and stuff. And then obviously, we did our homework, guys, about Bruno and stuff. We went on online and did some reading of like old articles and stuff, because honestly, before we get into that, I mean, did you have any weird interactions with him during VIP? Because honestly, I had only had one VIP, and that was the Resurrection Tour. And at that point in my life, I was like, get the away from me. I don't care about you. So,
You know, beyond like the whole DM
yeah.
on Twitter, that was probably like the most probably scariest interaction with him. I think in person, the only thing he did at me was he growled at me. But I
Wow.
don't really, but that was, that was it.
Okay.
I've had other multiple interactions with him, but they thankfully didn't come off weird. But what about for you?
I mean, like I said, the only like physical interaction was with my first VIP was the Resurrection Tour, but at that point, I was when I went to that concert, I just overcame the trauma and stuff, got justice for it, and then obviously when I just saw it, I'm just like like I knew something was off, honestly, during the Black Mass tour with him, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And then when the Resurrection Tour gone, I was like, I still have this off feeling, but it's stronger now, and I don't know
Hmm.
why. And so I remember he was there, but like I was petrified because that was my first VIP, and so I literally could not talk. I just smiled and waved to Andy, and I meant to look at the other guys, but it's just so fast and everything. But yeah, at that point, I was just like, I don't care about him. Like I even remember during the concert, I was up in barricade, like yeah, I was coming over, and like I did notice he noticed me, like was pointing at me and stuff, and trying to get my interaction. And I was like, yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna yell at Cece. I'm gonna yell at Jinx. I'm gonna yell at Jake and stuff, and Andy. I don't care about you. And I remember he was trying to purposely throw his guitar picks at me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll catch it. Whoops, I missed it.
You know, that and since you bring up the whole like interaction thing, I did notice I think it's wonderful, yes, to interact with the fans in the crowd, but I love how he's like playing the bass. I'm just gonna interact with all the girls. It's like, okay, you
We will
know.
definitely get into that. But yeah, for any of us who were in this time period and stuff, honestly, the timing of this wasn't the greatest. Well, I feel like no timing is ever the greatest. But it was announced in 2019 that BVB was parting ways with him, and I remember that because I strictly it obviously it didn't go into detail, but I do remember they made a post about it saying like, he has left the band, we wish him luck or whatever, something respectful along those lines. And me not knowing why he left, I was like, oh, okay, that's too bad. Was I happy about it? I mean, was I sad about it? Not really. So I was kind of in the neutral land zone about it. And I even made a freaking post saying goodbye to Bruno and deleted it ever since what I found out.
Yeah, I didn't really when I saw the post, I didn't necessarily like care. It was more, my mind was more what's happening to Black Veil Brides right now
Hmm.
because I didn't know if they would continue on with the band, if they were going to find someone else. And of
Hmm.
course, this all pretty much came crashing down and right after the Veil album going into COVID too. So it's like, what is
2020,
happening?
that is when it
Yeah.
all the show started with Bruno. It was
Hmm.
2020. And I guess we could talk about that because I remember it was 2020. It was announced that, at least for the school district, that we were no longer going back into schools. We would have to transfer over online. And, that year was scary because I think that was you and a lot of people's first adventure and experience with a pandemic type of situation. I mean, I know we didn't have it as bad like in other countries, but it was still pretty intense to stay indoors, not knowing what's going to happen, knowing that this disease was out there that was causing some death here and there. It was scary. I'm not gonna lie, it was freaking scary. And so I remember waking up. It was June when it happened. Waking up and then checking Twitter, or I think it was me either. No, it was Instagram. Instagram. I woke up and saw the post that BBB made about how they wanted to confirm and make it clear to every fan, like they want a safe environment for all people, fans, and let alone the crew members and stuff to feel like they were safe and etc. And I was just like, what is going on? And then I venture out to Twitter, and that's where I saw all the allegations against Bruno.
There were so many people that were coming out about it, and it was like, I can't lie, it was one of those things at first. I'm the person where I try not to like believe everything I read online because
Hmm.
people do start rumors online. There are fake articles that you can read that aren't real, but they seem real. So at the time when I was reading everything, a lot of it kind of like it almost was like overwhelming because I was like, okay, he did just like leave the band. But of course, when it was announced, they almost made it seem like, we just parted ways. It
Yeah.
was an agreed thing. Like that's what they made it sound like, at least in my head. So then seeing all of that, I thought, okay, what is going on? And I remember talking to my mom about it, and my mom was like really concerned because she's like, is this real? Like the person we met did all these things? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm like, it's really hard saying because I know that there have been allegations against people before that turned out to be false.
Yeah.
But this, I just thought, I don't know. So it was one of those things. It took a lot of deep dive to actually find out that everything was true, especially when Black Veil Brides themselves came out about it.
Yeah, so basically we'll kind of recap it. Obviously, if you want more details, you can find it online and stuff and everything. But the allegations allegedly that were claimed towards him was that he had predatory behavior, and there was also we have to probably bleep it on YouTube. SA, as they
Even,
say, SA, as they say on
yeah,
YouTube now, SA.
and like partying with minors, giving them drugs and alcohol too.
Underage drinking and stuff. And it was rough because I personally, for me, when I went, I swear, Twitter just blew up when that news came up. Like it was so hurtful and sad to see the army split when that happened. Because
Hmm.
I know there was a
Oh,
lot of fans of Bruno and stuff. Obviously, there was a thing called his last name,
Purdy posse.
Purdy posse and stuff of a lot of fans, and obviously they were his fans that they were going to trust on him. And I just remember seeing all of these allegations, and then fans had, I guess, the balls to start blaming Andy and BVB for letting them be there and stuff and not doing anything about it. And like, oh, you let him do this. Oh, you weren't there to protect us and stuff. And I'm like, I got so mad because I'm like, there is m much more to this than you guys should know, okay? I've been through similar situations through my childhood trauma, so I know there's always two sides. It's complicated. It's fucking complicated. That's all I have to say. And I just remember seeing all these hateful fans who were turning their backs now against BVB, especially with Andy. Like, there was so much hate towards Andy. And
Mhm.
I was roughly new to talking to Papa Chris during social media, so I can only imagine what he was thinking, or all the family members and all the BVB members were thinking. And so I messaged Papa Chris on Twitter saying, like, hey, I'm so sorry this is happening to the fandom right now. It literally is killing me and hurting me seeing fandom is turning against each other, turning against Andy, and then they're just forgetting about BBB in general because they were just a stan of Bruno and stuff. And I just wanted to reassure him, like I even told him, like, I want you to make sure there are still friends that care about the rest of BBB who do not blame Andy. And I'm one of them because, like, I'm sure there's a lot more that we don't know, but I'm sure his hands were tied. There was a lot of factors that he had to consider and stuff. And I'm just like, I understood at least. So I just wanted to, reassure Chris, like, hey, there are still fans there that still care. So,
Yeah, I felt bad because the voices of the fans that cared were not as strong as the voices
yeah.
of the Purdy posse and, of course, the angry fans. And for once again, you can go online and read on the articles too. But a big reason why when people sit there and say that, oh, Andy didn't protect us or why didn't they do anything, for anyone that doesn't know, as a part of this, Bruno decided when Andy was what, 16, 17 years
Yeah,
old, very young,
baby
he took
young.
advantage of him and made him sign away half the rights of Black Veil Bride. So he owned 50% of that. Therefore, if Andy even wanted to kick him out, he couldn't have. There was nothing that had to go through lawyers and so many attorneys. Oh my gosh.
I obviously we do not know all the details of that
Yeah.
contract that uh Bruno basically manipulated Andy to sign and stuff. And I don't know. It was like apparently from my reading and stuff, that contract was like for till infinity and stuff or something like
It,
making
it,
it.
it was because
Yeah.
Bruno basically wanted this whole thing to be more of a business than a band.
Yeah, it was rough. And I mean, we'll get into that, but I do want to kind of shine light of all the people that spoke out about their experience with Bruno. Obviously, just to make it fair. We're not going to state their names. Obviously, if you are interested, you can find articles about it and stuff. But like, there was very brave, I would say, survivors who came up and told their experience and stories. A lot of them had common things of each of their stories that just like with their association with Bruno and stuff. Like, there was one fan who obviously stated that there was verbal abuse and stuff with interactions. Obviously, underage drinking, intoxicated was involved. The predatory behavior was also involved, unfortunately. This fan was 17 years old, apparently, and she claimed there was grooming before the whole SA started and stuff. So, grooming, obviously. I experienced that, so I know. And apparently, Bruno sent her some photos that he wanted the fan to emulate and stuff. Their physical encounter was during and after a BVB concert, unfortunately. Pressure to drink and stuff, and allegedly there was some SA in the tour bus. There was another person who did share their experience. Allegedly, this person was a former associate of the band of BVB. Again, I do not know. This is just allegedly. But this person said they witnessed Bruno engaging with underage fans and stuff during the concerts or VIP and stuff, getting fans on the portas and pressuring them with to drink, unfortunately. Apparently, this person even witnessed Bruno meeting these fans around the venue because the security wouldn't let them through into the bus. So Bruno found a way to meet up with them and get them on the tour bus.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of the stories about the sneaking people onto tour buses.
I won't lie, when this whole show started and stuff, me personally, it was very triggering for me just to read all these people's statements and like stories and everything experienced with Bruno. I wanted to dig more, but for my mental state, I didn't because I was getting very triggered. Because these some of the words and experience these people have stated was very triggering for myself just because of my childhood trauma with my mom's ex, unfortunately, because I was groomed and then I was also SA2'd. So it was triggering and I didn't want to dive in it. I was just so mad. I was hurt. I was just, yeah, mad and hurt.
Well, as you should be. I mean, as should all of these fans and anyone that has experienced anything like that. The digging is rough. I recommend going at your own pace because there's so much on Bruno. It's kind of insane to be honest.
And Nicole and I did find one piece of like, I guess I don't know if it was an article, but I would say a statement from this person named Danny Finn, I believe.
Yeah, Danny Finn.
Yeah, if you
I think it's
can
on
look
Tumblr. I think it's on
Tumblr. It was
Tumblr.
a very long read, but there's a lot of like stuff that he wrote allegedly that Bruno did do and stuff, and what he has witnessed as a third party.
And for anyone that doesn't know, if you're questioning why the guys haven't spoken about it at all or why it's not in Andy's book, it's because they signed an NDA where they are not allowed to speak about it.
They BBB slash the crew cannot legally comment in any way bad or good of Bruno, or else Bruno will basically sue them.
But he can't sue us.
But he can't sue us, so you, Bruno.
As far as we know, anyway.
As far as we know. I mean, hey, we're being petty. He's being petty. I got blocked from him already, okay? So, you
I have yet to be blocked.
have yet to be. Maybe this is the episode where he blocks you now.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe this will be it.
But no, Danny Finn wrote a very decent, detailed, long statement on Tumblr and stuff. Unfortunately, you do need to make an account to finish it, but I would recommend it if you really want to see what Bruno and stuff has allegedly done. Obviously, we mentioned he's manipulated young Andy into signing away half the rights, which is 50% of the creative direction and power when it came to BVB.
I did read too along with that Bruno originally he wanted to be the singer.
Yes.
And because I know he was trying to technically quote unquote steal some of the members from Black Veil Brides to be a part of his own band, but he ended up joining Black Veil Brides. I think a lot of this, even though he got Andy to sign a 50% of BVB away, I think that Bruno intention all along was to become the lead singer and put Andy in that bass position.
Yeah, that was the intention. Obviously, it didn't work, but no,
Hallelujah.
imagine that. Seriously.
I know. Oh Lord, because let me tell you, Bruno, bro, you so auto-tuned as fuck. Like, I've listened to your solo projects.
I have
Auto-tuned as
not
fuck.
listened
And
to a
your
solo
music
project.
videos are so
Okay, I
bad.
will admit, I did stumble upon one music video because curiosity killed the cat. I regretted it since because I was just like, nope, can't do it anymore.
I
It
know
was
which one
called
it is.
King of for a Day or something.
King for a
Dude, that
Day.
music video, I'm like, what the hell am I watching?
It was like I'm just like, bro, literally rolled in a green screen.
I'm just like green screen, okay. What is this? Are we going into medieval Robin Hood era? Like, you're not pulling it off, sir. I'm sorry. Like, I couldn't even finish it. I couldn't. I was like, I'm out. I can't.
I will say this. The one credit I give you, dude, is out of all of your songs, that's the one you were least auto-tuned on.
Wow, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't haven't
Mm-hmm.
checked his other ones because I frankly just don't give a so
You don't want to put your eardrums through that.
we don't know much about Bruno's side, obviously, when it came to all the allegations that come, but he did claimed on social media, quoting, technically I didn't leave, I'm just not in the band anymore. He kind of related it to like a divorce in a way. Like this,
Yeah,
I was
bro.
like, what
Trying
the
to his own ass.
like seriously, a divorce? You're gonna compare your separation with BVB to a divorce?
I know. It's just a separation because, he's still getting what those freaking checks, which he shouldn't be.
I just like I sometimes when all of this has happened, honestly, I was like, I wish I could be a fly on that wall in that room when the band and stuff had to figure out with their lawyers how to get out of this freaking contract that young Andy has signed and stuff, and like how to make it fair and stuff, like how to finally free themselves because obviously after the show things came up more saying like before the resurrection tour Andy was doing his side project the Andy Black and stuff and when I first heard about that I know we talked about it like fans were like freaking out like oh my God is Black Veil Bride's done. Is there no more Black Veil Brides and stuff? And I was thinking the same, but at the same time, like, well, Andy has every right to do something. He could do a side
Mhm.
project. What's wrong with that?
I felt that way the whole time. When his solo project came out, I never once thought that anything was happening. I just thought, I feel like artists do that all the time. They create solo
Yeah,
projects, but I also don't. When you look back at it and knowing that he did it so that way he had a backup, I was like, it just really hits you right in the feels.
like I heard it was literally because of Danny Fenny even stated in his Tumblr statements that during the Black Mass tour where he noticed things were off between the band members. Like he
Mhm.
remember like hanging out with the rest of the guys, but like Bruno was doing his own thing. He was not associated with the guys. Like when some of the guys went out drinking or get something to do. Bruno was nowhere around whatsoever. I don't know if it was during the Black Mass tour, but I think it was during the Resurrection tour that Bruno, in a way, had his own buzz because Andy couldn't deal with shit anymore.
And I do have to agree that Black Mass Tour is where you would notice it. My meet and greet with the band for both the Black Mass Tour and the Resurrection Tour. Black Mass, like don't get me wrong, that was still like an exciting
Yeah.
moment, but you could tell like the more Hudson and I kind of discuss it, like Andy definitely like had an attitude. No offense, Andy, like you were great, you were awesome despite the attitude, but I don't blame you. Like happening, a lot of shit's going on. Your mind's elsewhere. So Andy, you could tell, just was not focused on Black Veil Brides at that point. And then when it came to the Resurrection tour, I can't lie, Andy just seemed so done. Like there was no emotion, I feel like. And Bruno, the whole time, never interactive. I mean, even in my photo in the middle, turns his head blurred. I was like, that's fine. We'll
Was
just
that the
crop you
Resurrection
out,
tour or
dude.
was that the Black Mass tour? I couldn't.
That was the Resurrection tour.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
Didn't you tell
Wait.
me like you came
Yeah.
up and then like for some odd reason Bruno couldn't stood still for a
He
second
got
or
so
something?
twitchy. Yeah, he
Yeah, and then
wasn't like, and
so
no, none of the members were interacting with him during the Resurrection tour. I picked up on the vibes. I just,
yeah.
you assume obviously the band has their own life that goes on in their life. So at the time, I was trying not to think too much of it. I thought maybe they're dealing with something. They were dealing with something pretty big. Lo and behold, I encourage everyone to really go back and think about it in your meet and greet and just notice the details, even
Honestly,
like the
guys,
details on stage.
for all the fans who went to Black Master, especially the Resurrection tour, because I have footage, which honestly, we're gonna be petty. We're gonna start it here because I'm this petty, okay? That during the Resurrection tour, if you zoom up on Bruno playing the fucking bass, you will see he's not even playing. Trust me, I
Fake
have
playing.
evidence. Here it is.
The video that you're displaying, and then just it's also one of those things too, as I stated, he interacted more with fans than he was playing the guitar. He spent more time just throwing his hands up, doing that, throwing guitar picks. I was like, is bro ever gonna perform?
I don't know because I think allegedly I want to say it was Danny Fenn who said it or somewhere else I read that allegedly Bruno was performing intoxicated during the performances in some of the shows during the tours. So
I also heard that he was only playing the backtracking parts and not the actual, like, yeah. So I thought, okay,
I did notice that during the Resurrection tour where like I literally zoomed in and like, bro, he's not even praying. He's not even playing. Well, like, what the is he even doing on stage then?
I think one of the worst parts, if for any, and you can find this on articles too when you research, but I guess Jake has even stated that he had to physically play the bass during recordings for albums because Bruno would just refuse to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, hey, that's not Bruno playing bass, that's Jake.
Jake. Okay, so BBB self-titled album just came out, Black Mass tour and stuff. Obviously, that's kind of like I would say fans started to notice something was off between the band members, but obviously we didn't
Mhm.
know what exactly was it was. And then Andy did a solo project, which made more fans like, oh my God, what's happening? Like Andy Black he's doing his own thing. Like, where are the other guys? Is Black Veil Bride's son? And I know that was we talked about that and stuff. And then came out of their new album Veil, which was a mixed roller coaster of emotions, I'm sure.
It gets sadder every time we talk about it, only because here I am telling everyone at that time, when Veil came out, it's not the end, like everyone calm down. And then me like hearing now, or not now, but then finding out that it could have been the end. I mean, damn, I had some high ass hopes there, and I'm really glad that it wasn't the end, but it's like I almost like hate myself for not noticing like small insignificant things, even though as I said I did notice, but I'm sitting here in my head thinking maybe it's just like their own,
Mhm.
like something small in their own life. I didn't think it was as huge as it was gonna be.
No, when Val came out, I remember I was super excited because not only was like, okay, BVB's not the end, but then when I listened to Val, especially obviously the last song, I'm like, oh, is happening.
And also it took what 4 years for Veil to even be released
And
because
then
we were all
obviously,
sitting here, is Black Veil Bride's going to create a new album? Because it was right after the Black Mass tour with the self-titled album that Andy came out with his solo project in 2016, but he released a solo song in 2015, I thought, or was it 2014?
we
It
don't
might have been 2014 that he released the song, but
it was one of those things, and obviously, as time passed later on, we realized that when creating Veil, the guys were all just like, how do I say it? Isolated. Like they would just come in, do their part, and leave. None of them were really all together in the studio. Like I remember Cece when they did the unacoustic performance and stuff when they went down from the first
Mhm.
album to the. I remember when they reached Veil it was hard for them to talk about because it was a definitely a huge part of their lives like this could possibly be the end of Black Veil Brides.
Yeah.
Thankfully it wasn't and stuff and but they always said yeah we were all kind of isolated like CC mentioned he would just come in do the drum sets on the parts of the songs and then they would tell okay that's it thank you you can come back whenever blah 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 and it was like okay there was no Andy there was no Jake there was no um Bruno, etc. They were all isolated performing their parts.
No, it's heartbreaking. That's so sad.
It is sad. It's sad.
Ugh.
And obviously, as time passed, we found out more stuff. Like, for example, the lovely guitars. Like, why is he using that when most of the fandom back then were young undergirl age? Like,
Young, yeah.
we were so innocent at that time, and yet here he comes with this. guitar of like a hustler guitar, basically.
Yeah, like it's one of those things like on I almost didn't notice it at first. I actually noticed it in more in photos than anything because I couldn't tell what was on his guitar. I knew were on it.
Ugh.
But then when you actually see the guitar, like it's just a bunch of random naked women and I was like, "Whoa." So to be up front and you yeah, underage just underage fans in general and a lot of those fans can range from like 5 years old. He definitely I can tell when you look back at old glam rock and roll bands and how they would just sleep with groupies every night. I think that's like that was his fantasy to live out, probably. You know, as we stated before, he was very manipulative and controlling. So I think he just kind of took advantage of every moment he could.
And obviously he's petty because what was it? This is how I got blocked, guys, from Bruno on Instagram and Twitter, or X. It's just so petty. I honestly blame his fan group, but basically it was like I think it was when Rich and Divine had turned 10 years old for their 10-year anniversary, and he posted himself a photo of himself during the Rich and Divine era and stuff. And so I just like posted on my story with the vomit emoji and stuff. And then I'm sure his fans saw it and notified him, and so he blocked me.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's one of those things where blocking someone is the right thing to do, but in this case, it just makes it hilarious
Like,
because it's like, bro, like
you're gonna block me for something I have every right to do. You don't know me, okay? Yeah, I've seen you, but really haven't interacted with you and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna believe the guys and the people who have spoken up. I'm not gonna believe you just due to experience. I believe the survivors. I believe the people who wrote statements.
what makes me laugh is just the blocking part. Because, you know, the amount of vomiting faces, bro, I get on all of my posts, just the amount of hate I get. If I blocked all of those people, the block list would probably be long. But you don't, like, in my opinion, why block them? I want them to see my posts and suffer. So he's just,
I like when he blocked me, I'm like, I was just laughing, like, how petty can a human being be? He's obviously older, like, what is he in his 40s or 50s right now? So,
we'll just say 50s.
yeah, he's a 50-year-old grumpy old and stuff. Like, oh, this is something who's like 10 years younger than me. Oh, she made a post. I would block her. Like, I give it.
He does not handle hate very well. No.
I don't know.
Very, very sensitive he is.
Like, literally, I'm just like, any interview he would do with Loudwire or whatever other interviews, I did not watch at
Well, you
all.
know, he's real quick bringing it back to the whole blocking thing. I don't know if you noticed this or caught on either, but when he was still in the band before all the allegations came out, like any hate, people could hate on him, nothing. After the allegations came out and he's getting hate, he is blocking everyone. So that's why I'm just like, like if they're fake, sir, why would you feel the need to block?
It's so freaking. I have so many words to describe Bruno, but at this point, I'm just like, I don't give a about him. Obviously, BVB survived. Look at them now. Like, they have fucking Lonnie, who is 10 times more the man Bruno was, first of all. He got his outcast name correctly, which is the Redeemer. What was Bruno's outcast name? What, the Outlaw or something?
No, I think it was the oh, it was the Deviant.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does. So we have freaking Lonnie, okay? When Lonnie came up here for what was I know it was during the EP the night, I can't remember. Vengeance, yeah. Obviously, the Vengeance came out. We saw Lonnie and stuff, and then Lonnie proved to himself like he belongs to BVB. He was a fan of BVB. He supports the fans, and obviously, he's very respectful to the fans and stuff. He's a genuinely nice freaking dude compared to Bruno, okay? And I'm low key, I'm here like. Now seeing where BVB is, especially with their new album, BVB 7, with Certainty, Hallelujah, Bleeders, and all that other stuff, like, my part of me is like, yeah, Bruno, look at BVB now. Look what they can achieve without your ass.
They're stronger than ever. They're flourishing, they're thriving. I think the funniest part is you know Bruno's mad because he was expecting them to fail and to crumble, and Lonnie just made it 10 times stronger. They're so genuinely happy. I really think they are unstoppable right now.
Dude, like, after when Bruno left, I'm sure the guys were so relieved. It was like a big weight off their chest, and then Lonnie came around, and then he just like sparked like, hey, let's come together as a group now. Let's not be isolated. Let's come into the freaking studio and work together. And like we can see that now. Like their whole expressions have changed. Their demeanor has changed. They feel happy now. They don't have to fuck stress or worry about Bruno anymore and what he's gonna do.
I don't even know what he's doing now. Isn't he
I
like trying to like sell and buy Bitcoin or
honestly, I'm
something
just
now?
here like I'm here like, is he still in Nashville? Because that's the last thing I heard that he moved to Nashville.
I don't know. Like I don't see anything about him. The good news is I don't even really see any of like the quote unquote Purdy posse coming up on my feed anymore, which is great. But I can't lie, that I did not like deep dive into. Not that I care.
The Purdy posse.
Just either or. I don't really care what he's up to now. It doesn't matter to me.
The last thing I heard about him is that he moved to Nashville, Tennessee. I think he started doing his own music and then something with Bitcoin because I know Andy called him out on that on one of the performances, and I remember Andy
Don't
making a
sell me useless Bitcoin.
and then Andy made a statement about that. It was like, you know what? Andy has every right to call him out at this point. Like,
I did want to bring it back to what you stated earlier, though, with the whole, like you said, any interviews he did, you would not watch and everything. The unfortunate part for me is like, I obviously didn't care to watch anything BBB related with him in interviews, but I felt like, did you notice though, most of his interviews, they had to pair him with another band member.
I
If it
think there was
wasn't
like,
Andy, it'd be with Cece or
yeah,
Jake.
I think there was like a couple interviews he did by himself.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've never watched an interview just to
But I
have
did notice that,
them.
yeah, he was always obviously not. Well, I think there was in the early days he was partner up with Andy, but then as later years came, he was partner up with like Jinx or
Yeah,
James.
it's almost like they noticed that he didn't bring in enough views on his own, so they had to like pair him with someone else just to
Right?
get fans to
Like,
watch.
I just want to say to all those statements and the people who did speak out about their stories and experience with Bruno, I mean, I'm so terribly sorry that you had to experience what you experienced with Bruno. I am so sorry that you were manipulated, groomed, or whatever that was, and pressured to do things that you didn't want to. I am truly sorry. Like I wish there was some type of justice or something, but I am truly sorry those things happened to you. You didn't deserve it whatsoever. You were just a young fan in love with BBB and stuff, and you got manipulated by.
For all the fans that were, you all are brave for even
Mhm.
coming out and sharing your story. I know that there are probably still a lot of fans out there that haven't come forward, and there's no rush. I don't blame you guys. It's just, but for the fans that have come out, I mean, I can't even imagine how hard that was because you guys are still dealing with hate to this day. That's why I hate the internet, to be honest. Online is so bad. I hate it.
Okay, guys, let's take a breather here.
I know
We
I'm
went through a
sweating.
lot, guys. We went through
It's
a lot.
almost like
But hey, BVB is better than ever. We're waiting for the next album coming here. I know a lot of us pre-ordered their DVD slash CD combo situation, which we're super excited for. Obviously, the tour is going to start off here soon, and they're better and they're such in a better place right now with obviously with Lonnie, the Redeemer.
same with the army. Like the BBB army is just in a much better place. I feel like when Bruno was back in it, it almost felt divided because it was,
Yeah,
you had the BBB fans, the Purdy posse, and then coming into having Lonnie, BBB is now thriving and doing better. And I think just the fans in the army in general are just so much happier, not just with the band, but with each other.
exactly. And we cannot wait to see what this new era has in store for them and us for the fandom. Like obviously, like it's gonna be amazing when we find out that what that cover art is for their new album and stuff and everything. Like Richard Villa, an amazing artist and stuff. And obviously all the songs are gonna come out with the covers of like My Chemical Romance and stuff that they're doing and like is possibly a new music video we don't know and stuff and like how the visual effects or aesthetics are going to be for the tour and everything like we are excited and we cannot wait for it.
So many goodies happening this year with Black Veil Brides. As I said before, I'm getting overwhelmed. I think the next thing to happen is getting the album cover released. 100%.
Dude, I can't wait to see that. Richard Villa, I want to still talk to you. I want to go to your exhibition and stuff, see your amazing artwork, and just like dissect your brain and stuff. Because seriously, dude, you have done such amazing artwork for BBB.
I know, I want to go there too. The one thing that I love from you so much is the jacket that has the middle
Oh yeah,
skeleton middle finger and it says "Fuck you, motherfucker." I want that so bad. I was saving up money to buy it before it got sold. I was like,
I'm sorry. Yes, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know this video was, I don't know what you would say, deeper than others, maybe, possibly. We were definitely petty, just to kind of make
I
it
would
nice.
say deeper, pettier, all of the above. I just encourage all fans to just do their research on it if you're wanting to dig deeper. We did not go as deep as we probably should have, but there's a lot of articles out there. Definitely go to Tumblr and read Danny Finn's post. I think that's where you will find that to be the most helpful.
It does. And you know, it was a topic that we've been putting off, but hey, we did it because why not? I feel like at this point, BVB is in a good place. Obviously, I think a lot of people think they're in their revenge era. So yeah, let's talk. We're gonna talk about Bruno.
That's why this couldn't have been more perfect, the revenge era. So I
The
mean, it had to be
revenge era.
done.
So
It needed it.
obviously, guys, we appreciate you. Thank you for being here for our pettiness when it came to Bruno and stuff. We talked about Bruno, but now we're going back to we don't talk about Bruno. No, no. We don't talk about Bruno.
No more after this. No more.
No more. We're done. I think we got it all out. Well, most of it.
For the most part. Maybe I didn't say enough. I didn't drop enough F-bombs, but that's okay.
We hope you guys appreciate this video. Again, thank you for all your support and everything. We are excited to come back. We don't know what's going to happen next week, but we're definitely going to figure that out. So please stay tuned. All of our social links are down below. Please go give us a follow. Obviously, hit the subscribe button because we post now every Friday and stuff. Yes, we are getting closer to tour, and yes, we are getting closer and closer and closer to the reveal of the album. I swear, next week is going to happen. Just watch.
Oh, please. I'm okay with that.
Till then, guys.